Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. So right away, this game starts with like 40 seconds of load times. Welcome to a disk-based system. But the story of this game is that Deppy is a taxi, and he's kind of down on his luck. And he sees the Tryrush rally as his chance to rise above his station. And we're going to start with a race from Buffalo to New York, which of course starts from Buffalo on the ocean. I'm not sure that's totally correct, but we'll just go with it.
Seems right to me.
Yeah. The pink car there is Cute Hip. She is our love interest in this story, and we'll see more of her later. But for now, this stage is pretty straightforward, so I can kind of explain the mechanics. It really only has 2 buttons to the game, just jump and power up for dash. And on the bottom left is both my life meter and my charge meter. I use both together. And basically, I'm dying all the time. I'll just run out of gas if I dash too much. So I try not to do that. Takes a little while. So in this game, there are all sorts of cars there. That little guy there is Dukonski, and he's kind of evil. There's Mr. Silk Hat. You don't have to worry about him, but he does get hit with tax evasion in one of this game's endings. Don't worry about it. The item I pick up there is a battery. It just gives me invincibility and stops fuel consumption for about 30 seconds. For the most part, that's used just to get through a lot of stages very quick. This game also has worlds are kind of broken up into 3 levels. The first 2 are actual platforming stages. The third one is always a boss stage. In this case, this one is kind of an auto-scroller where you just go up a skyscraper, because that's where cars that are racing usually go. This would actually be a really good time for a donation comment, because you got a good minute.
Okay, sounds good. We have a $15 anonymous donation. Saturn speedruns represent. Eggman, let's go!
Oh, yeah.
And just a quick update for Omnibus coming up. Right now, the hat of choice is ice cream cone at $324. The Park Ranger hat is behind by about $200. So if that's what you're feeling, then get those donations in.
All right. During this section, you'll see they kind of rain down little gas cans here and there. That's basically how I refill the meter. The other way is through these red enemies. There are blue and red versions of those enemies, but only the red ones actually drop fuel. So they're the ones I want. For the most part, I also want to take them out fairly quickly because I don't want too many enemies on screen at once, or you start getting some lag here and there. Alright, so the first boss here, just want to set myself up so I don't have to move. Of course, takes place at the top of the skyscraper. Every boss in this game is very menacing. They all have very interesting names. So we have the hijacker here. And of course, the game is very helpful in telling me where I want to attack. So here I'm going to try to hit with as many full charges as I can to break off that crystal thing he's got on his head. And then we'll see if I can actually get the quick kill here by just bouncing in midair with as many short charges as I can. All right, he's dead. Well, he's actually not dead. He's actually our friend now. He's very friendly. All right, then we get a little cutscene there with Cute Hip and Deppy kind of staring at the moon. Star-crossed lovers. All right, now we're going to drive all the way over to Chicago. I'm pretty sure, again, geography here is 100% accurate. Where I'm going is exactly what Chicago looks like. I mean, I've been there. It's got all this, right?
Yeah, it looks right.
Yeah. All right, so that guy's name is Pamcon. He just kind of hops around whenever you see him. That was actually really close. So if that cop actually catches you, he will pull you over, and he'll write you a ticket. And that ticket takes so long that you will just run out of fuel. You never come back from it. I mean, all the various characters you see doing things in this game, they actually have their own endings by completing drama sections with them. This is any percent, so we won't be doing any of those, sadly. But they all affect the ending. This is the only stage where I get to skip across water. That is also something that a taxi can definitely do.
Loving how scenic Chicago is.
Yeah, yeah. Don't mind that guy. All right, so that sound is that I'm low on fuel, but because I got the battery, my fuel doesn't run out. All right, here we get the second boss stage, which I really just wanted to grab a small amount of fuel and then just dash as fast as I can to the end here. It's the Mangler. I have to wait for him to go across the screen. Thankfully, he does that pretty fast. I also enjoy that this boss fight takes place at the world-famous Chicago waterfall. That's completely real. So I'm going to try to stay kind of close to him, if I can. It's a little hard. Thankfully, you can just kind of bounce on him and stay out of the way. Otherwise, these missiles can actually hit you. And he'll go back across here. And the actual hitbox on these tailpipes is really small. I just try to line up, there we go, with the bubbles as they come out, and that's just the correct position to hit them at. Anything else will result in spin out. I also actually want to give kind of a weird shout out here, but it's to a person named Alicia Gormanson, which she's the only person I've ever seen that's actually documented every ending in this game. And I actually learned that yesterday. It's kind of impressive. It really helps me understand this game a lot better. All right, we're going from Chicago to Denver. Absolutely, this is definitely that drive. I've done that one myself. I can vouch for the game. Through the mushroom forest of Denver.
Like I said before, this looks normal to me.
Absolutely. This is all standard stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's another straightforward level. Mostly, I just wanted to make sure that I jumped over the spikes and just not ran right into them. But starting from this stage, you start getting a bit more complex in how the layouts are set up. And I'll try to skip the big drama section in this one. Okay. So what I want to do is try to jump top 1, 2, 3, 4, run off that cliff and jump over them, and I don't have to watch them talk. Because this is a speed run, we don't have to watch that. So the next boss is a fairly tricky one. He's a bit random in where he will attack at, but you'll see that in a second. It also introduces 2 of the other ways I can be hit, which is fire and ice. And for whatever reason, they just kind of overlap every other type of status I could be in, regardless. So if I get hit, I'll just kind of get hit by whatever. So we'll try to avoid that. And of course, it's very helpful telling us where to aim. And I definitely don't want to fall in the water. Deppy can swim slightly, but not for very long. There you'll see ice shake out. Trying really hard not to get frozen. That was a great fight. And W Bull has kind of a special animation to him being defeated here. He's the only boss that cries. There you go. Sorry, man.
So mean.
I try. So the neon stars that I'm getting are basically continues. Every single 100 is worth 3 more lives, so yeah, we're not in any danger here. Another little cutscene there. So now we're gonna head off to the western side here, to the Grand Canyon, and this is actually correct, like for real. Except for one kind of major thing in the background. So yeah, we're out here in the desert, and it's totally fine, except for the fact that the Mount Rushmore is in the Grand Canyon. All right, so we're gonna bounce across here, and I'm gonna try to stay up above here. The clouds have a really, really bad tendency to eat inputs. Oh, I went right through it. All right, so we're going to take the bottom path here. As fast as I can. The game gets a bit slippery. I am a car. I don't want to be crushed. Okay. There we go. And dash to the end. The bombs that you see will latch onto you and count down from 3, and then they'll explode and make you sit there for a really long time. They're pretty annoying. So now we get the caves, and the caves are a bit dark and a bit maze-like. And a bit spooky. But it's also a level where I can kind of use the ability to slam myself into enemies and force a spin out. Oh, there. Just a little bit. I was trying to avoid being set on fire, but... Alright. So I want to drop down to the bottom here and dash through them as fast as I can. Oh. At the top here, there's a nice little safety gas that I have to pick up. Do a couple Pull the short charges and just dash right to the end. We get out of the caves. So now we get kind of a little bit different boss fight. First, we're going to board a Crazy Train Randy. That's him. He actually has a name.
It looks nice.
Yeah. I'm going to try to jump those. There we go. Because I'll need them in a second, and you'll see why. Don't want to set a fire here. Okay. So here we have probably the best named boss in the game. So he's Dead Drank. I don't know where that name comes from, but I'm gonna let him roll with it. And he's gonna chase us back the other way. And for the most part, it really doesn't matter how long we take on this part as long as we just don't get hit by him. Because we're just going to have to wait for him at the end anyway. But that's also why I saved those double gas, so I can just stand over here and act cute. If you want to read a donation, that'd be great.
Sounds good. We have a $50 donation from G135. Neither snow, nor rain, nor heat, nor gloom of night stays these gamers from the swift completion of their appointed speedruns.
All right. So here he has a second phase where he just stands up and has these pointy things here that shoot lasers, except he only shoots them down at the ground. That's his other thing, is he just starts crying. I don't really know why.
He's really upset he can't shoot anywhere else other than down.
You know, that makes sense.
He's been trying for so long.
The best pattern on this boss, like that right there, he can actually just cry the entire fight. But thankfully, I got, twice in a row there. That was good. Defeated Dead Drank. And pretty much at the end of every stage, I'm mashing C and start, just to skip every cutscene faster. All right, so we're gonna go to the casinos of Los Angeles. But despite going to Los Angeles, the background's actually just going to say Las Vegas anyway. So these balloons are always really annoying. They pop. They also they eat inputs like clouds. And for the most part, I'm going to stay away from them. They generate a very large amount of lag. Now this is a stage that gets pretty dangerous just because of the amount of bombs that are all over the place. And so I'll usually conserve gas and just try to avoid them as best I can. That was good. I really want to see Break Cars 2.1 on that sign. It's probably a great show. All right, so this is actually the last real stage of the game. The rest of it is just a couple of bosses. But it's also by far the most dangerous. Oh, we're getting bombs. All right. So the best way of taking care of bombs is actually just to get hit. And they'll just explode during your own iframes. All right. So we're going to drop down here away from the cops. I don't want to get pulled over. Nice bomb there. All right, we get to dash to the end here. And we'll move on to our final boss section. So my estimate is 35 minutes, and I'm at 20 minutes right now. And yeah, I only have 2 bosses left, and you'll understand the final boss is just very long. So hopefully I can shorten that just a bit. But first we'll get through this. And he is G-O. Hello, I am Go. And sadly, we're going to have to break his heart.
Please show him some mercy.
There's no mercy in rally racing, I'm sorry. And he's really nice in that he just gives gas all the time. He also has all sorts of little traps and things. And a spike ball that walks around, I guess. Alright. So in order to avoid some of that, I'm just going to bounce over here and wait for him to start backing up to the other side. There we go. And his heart takes 4 full charge shots to break, which I can't do in one go. I'll get him on the second pass. There we go. He's very helpful in that if you look at the little sign, he actually will tell you like what's going on. It'll say wait and go and basically anything you need to know about him. Yeah. You don't really have to do a whole lot to this guy, which is a little sad for him. I don't know if he understands that I'm up here, but
We just want to have some fun.
yeah. He's telling us to wait. He's very carefully backing up.
I also like the little barrel that he shoots off.
Oh, yeah. All right, so he's done. I try to get him off the screen like that a little bit just to stop any lag that comes from his explosion. Kaboom, as he will tell us. And now we just have one more stage. We're actually in the final stage now, right after this. Ooh, there we go. After a loading screen. So through the whole game, I've been talking about all the little drama things that go on that you could unlock as you play. But since we didn't get any of them at all of them are just going to bypass me. Normally, they would give me gas if I had actually gotten their drama scenes. Because of that, I don't have any reserve fuel, basically. I'm just fighting from whatever I start with, which is pretty dangerous because this is a long fight. And where the real danger comes from is those little enemies that jumped over me. If I don't get any red ones, then I won't get any fuel back, and that's just bad. Speaking of bad, he's bad head, and there's his hair. That's where we're gonna hit.
That is a bad head.
It is a bad head. And he's always gonna start off with a full power laser charge. And we're gonna see. Okay, so I don't get any red enemies there. But every phase takes 2 shots. And then he switches out for basically the next boss that I fought. So he has his own starting phase, and then one for each of the bosses, and then one final. So there's the laser. Still nothing. Alright, so I'll play this a little safe. That's what I want right there. No, that's not what I want. I'm dead.
Oh,
I was not expecting the 10-ton weight there.
nobody expects it.
No, it's the Spanish Inquisition of weights. All right. Sadly, you have to redo the entire fight, no matter where you start. But that's why we have estimates. I'm prepared. But we get to see his little intro again. Give the nice little double take there.
I love his face.
Yes. The animation in this game is just wonderful. All right, so here we go again. Whoa. Oh, okay. All right. I'm just going to go for one shot on this one. See, there we go. Like, gimme. Okay. This is fine. This is really fine now. Oh. Now I've got a nice reserve, so we'll just go for it. Of course, here comes the laser. And I stay close to him, mostly just because I don't want to be hit by the fire enemies when those come. I want to be able to react to those most of all. This phase is probably the most dangerous, just because of the length of his arms there. This makes it very hard to get over him. But thankfully, we're getting fuel here. And in order to shake off when I get hit like that, you actually have to mash basically every button on the controller. Oh yeah, now we're getting lots and lots and lots of fuel.
You'll be fine.
Yeah. And I kind of expect to be hit by those. So yeah, there's a nice little example of fire overriding everything else. That was interesting. Okay. That going through. Okay. So now we should be fairly safe. So I'm actually going to stay away from this one. The ice and fire nozzles that he has from W-Bull hit from a really, really far distance. You can actually get an extra hit in there during that, which I went for, but we'll just bounce around for a second here. Get frozen. Okay. So we're still going on phases. We still got more bosses. We got Dead Drank's big giant spinning blades here. His spirit lives on. This one's a little different. Well, it's also gone, but it's a little different that he actually raises his weapons up like that. It makes it harder to bounce off of his head because you'll just run into them. And now we get Go's adorable little mitts. Like, he just swings those things around. I love it.
The most menacing weapon.
Yes. Okay. So now, they kind of realize, well, there's no other weapons. The red one comes out to give his little command. And they're going to decide to do something. They're just going to be the weapons themselves. Now, the problem with that is they're attached to his arms, and they can be killed here. So he doesn't have arms. Also, time right now. And that's the game.
Nice. His head got a little bit better.
Yeah. Yeah, now he's got a nice nice perm. All right, so we're going to watch the ending here because I just want to explain the ending to our love story between Cute Hip and Deppy. So we get our trophy. We have all the characters around us. And it's very lovely. We're in Las Vegas. We won the rally.
This was a good racing game.
Yeah, it was fantastic racing. I was always in first. All right, so now we get the little ending cutscene. And it's a little bittersweet in that Cute Hip comes to visit Deppy's family. There's his dad and his grandpa. And she goes in and she sees him kind of possibly flirting with another car. She's not really sure, but he's showing off his trophy. And she decides, you know, he looks fairly happy. Maybe I should just leave him alone. And so now we see her, and she's going back to France. And she's got a letter in her hand, but why would she have that? And we can see, oh, she has her own love of her life, and she's thrown the letter out there into the water. And it's Deppy, I love you, but he'll never know that. Aww. All right, that's the entire game. Thank you.